Okay, everybody, so our next project in Word is going to include tables, and tables in Word can be a little bit problematic. So we're just going to get a little bit of practice with Word tables. All right, so we're going to go to Insert, after you have Word open, Insert Table. Now, the first thing you have to figure out here is when you are selecting your columns and your rows, and it has this number up here at the top with the like 2 by 1 or the 4 by 3, which it's talking about. Okay, so it goes with how many columns is the first number, and then how many rows is the second number. Okay, so if we want 6 columns and 8 rows, we want to say 6 by 8 table up there. If we went 8 by 6, that would be a totally different table. That's 8 columns by 6 rows. So it gives you the columns first. All right, so we are going to create a table that has 6 columns, so go over 6, and 8 rows. Columns are up and down, like the column on a house, and rows are side by side. Okay, so we want 6 by 8 table, and you can see the boxes that I have selected there, and it's showing me that it's 6 by 8, so then click. Okay, and then here obviously is our little tiny table. Now we want this table to actually fill up just about the whole page. So when you, and I'll zoom it down there so you can see the whole page. When you have your cursor in the table, you might notice this little tiny resize box down here in the corner. And when I put my mouse over that box, it turns into a diagonal line. I can click and hold and then drag the size of the table. So I can pull it down here, and then all of the cells of the table become larger. Okay, so I'll do it again. It's not there, it's not there. Well, when I put my cursor up in the table, and then I go over to that little box, I click and hold and drag it down. Now be careful, because if you get a little overzealous and you bring it down below where your margin is, or if you come off the page this way, you end up with two pages, and it doesn't all fit. Okay, so undo and then try it again. Okay, so you want to be careful of your right margins and your bottom margins. Like if I go off the page at the bottom, it puts that bottom row there. Okay, and you need to undo or grab it again and then go back up so that you're kind of undoing it. Okay, so that's one of the tricky things about tables. You want to make it as large as you can without it actually going off the page. Okay, all right, so we have rows. This is across. This is row 1. This is row 2. This is row 3. And we have columns. This is column 1. This is column 2. This is column 3. All right, and we know how to resize the table. Now, you got to be careful also. You can resize each one of these rows. When you put your cursor right exactly on the right to left line, you can click and hold, and you can make that one row larger, and it might send you on over to the next paper, or you can make it smaller. Okay, you can do the same thing with the columns. If you want this first column just to be really skinny, you can drag that over there and make one column skinny, and then maybe make this one larger or make this one smaller. Now, when you're doing the outside one, just be careful, because it can really kind of mess it up if you go too far. Okay, so we're going to undo all of those. But for our project, we are going to want the top 2 rows to be pretty short. So we're going to grab the bottom part of row 1 and come on up. Now, before I do that, one other thing. If you have the text set to be large, like 26 or something large, and then you try to make that row shorter than that, it won't let you go any shorter than what your text size is set for. So if you want to make that shorter and it won't let you, you're going to need to make your size a little smaller. Then it'll do it. Okay, and we wanted the first 2 to be kind of short. Okay, and that'll be for our project that's coming up after we get done. All right, so now we want to insert clip art. And inserting clip art usually messes up your table. So we're going to go up to Insert, we're going to go Clip Art, and let's say you wanted a cookie. Okay, down here at school you have Where Should We Look? You want to look everywhere. You want to pull that down and put a check mark where it says everywhere. So we're going to look for cookies. And if it's an actual photo, it will take longer to come in than like like an illustration or a drawing. So let's say you want these sugar cookies, and it's going to take just a second for it to come in after you click. So I'm going to click right now. And that came in really fast. At school, sometimes when you click on a photo, it appears as though it has stalled on you. You just need to be patient. Don't click it again because it's just going to take that much longer. Okay, so we've got our little picture of our cookies, and you might notice that it came in really, really wide, and it made all the rest of our columns really skinny. Grab the corner and go towards the opposite corner to resize the picture. Okay, that might actually still be affecting the size of the other columns. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to grab a top or a bottom, because then you just made it really wide and fat. You don't want to grab a right or a left, because you just made, okay, you always want to keep the, always want to keep the proportion. So grab a corner and go to the opposite corner in order to resize. Okay? All right, so you are going to fill each of these boxes with things that you like, appropriate for school, by the way. Okay? And as I said, that drawings of cookies, and there might not be many drawings of cookies in maybe that one. Drawings of cookies usually come in quite a bit faster than actual photos. Drawings, not just of cookies, comes in quite a bit faster. All right, when you're done, you're going to click on File, and you click Save As, and then just name it your last name and put Table. All right.